Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. The topic that I am going to discuss today is Western blotting technique, which is one of the most popular and widely used immunoblotting technique for detection of proteins. In this video, I am going to discuss two things about Western blotting technique, namely first, principle of Western blotting technique, and second, procedure involved in Western blotting technique. But before going into the details of Western blotting technique, I want you all to understand two concepts first. First, antigen antibody interaction, and second, principle and working of SDS page. I have already made videos on above mentioned topics. I have mentioned the link of the videos in the description, so please go through it. It will help you to understand this topic better. Now let us understand principle of Western blotting technique followed by its procedure. If you are new to my channel and you have not yet subscribed, subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you can get all the latest updates. Western blottings are immunoassays in which the antigen are immobilized on sheet of synthetic filter membranes, and these firmly adhering antigens on the membranes are referred to as immunoblots. Western blotting involves transfer of electrophoretically separated proteins of the test sample from the gel to a solid support such as nitrocellulose membrane and subsequently probing the blots with specific antibodies. These antibodies would react specifically with antigenic epitopes on the target proteins, and this facilitates in establishing the presence or absence of antigen under investigation. Thus, Western blotting combines resolution of SDS polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis with specificity of immunochemical detection. It is therefore very useful in determining the presence of antigen as well as relative molecular weight of polypeptide chain. It is also a powerful technique for ascertaining the presence and specificity of antibodies from polyclonal sera. A variety of highly specific and sensitive blotting procedure for proteins have been developed, and these procedures in one form or the other are now routinely used in most biochemical laboratories. Western blotting is basically a qualitative test applicable to most protein samples. Such a technique, which involves transfer of proteins to membrane followed by detection of a particular protein by use of antibodies, is popularly known as Western blotting technique. Now let us understand the procedure of Western blotting. A typical Western blotting technique is largely analogous to the indirect ELISA procedure and comprises of the following steps. Proteins of the sample are immobilized on a membrane surface either by direct application as a spot or by transfer from an electrophoretic gel. Several types of synthetic membranes bind proteins tightly enough while retaining antigenicity and accessibility to antibodies, and hence these membranes can be used as supports for immunoblots or Western blots. Unoccupied protein binding sites on the membrane are saturated with bovine serum albumin to prevent non-specific binding of antibodies to the membrane. This step is called either blocking or quenching. The blot is probed for protein of interest with specific primary antibody. Secondary antibody specific for the primary antibody type and conjugated to an appropriate enzyme is then used to label primary antibodies. Staphylococcal protein A and streptococcal protein G can be used as secondary immunological probes. The label-bearing immobilized proteins become visible by activity of the conjugated enzyme, which converts substrate into insoluble and detectable product at the sites where the antigenic protein is immobilized on the membrane. If you can see in the diagram, protein antigens are first denatured in SDS followed by addition of SDS treated protein mixture to well of gel. Electrophoresis is carried out in SDS polyacrylamide gel. Proteins are separated. The gel is then removed and electrotransfer is carried out on porous membrane sheets. Then bind antigen of interest with enzyme-linked antibodies and further substrate is added to activate color reaction. Western blotting technique can also be used for detecting the antibody bands against various antigenic determiners, for which label antigen visualize antibodies separated by polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. For example, antibodies to HIV core proteins in the serum of HIV infected individuals are identified by this method. If you are watching my video for the first time, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you can get all the latest updates of my videos. Thank you.